Ready, camera one. Hit it.
What's the situation?
The police are reporting that armed terrorists have attacked the Israeli athletes.
In September 5, we tell the true story of the tragic events of that day in '72 in Munich, told from a very specific perspective.
There's a hostage situation going on right now in the Olympic Village.
It's a film about an American sports television crew covering the 1972 Olympics in Munich, and they had to switch from sports broadcasting to news broadcasting on the day of when the crisis happened, just in front of their studio complex.
We're 100 yards away from where this is happening.
The Munich Olympics was the first time broadcasting it all over the world, and ABC won this battle to get the rights.
ABC wants news to take over.
Your sports, you're in way over your head.
This is our story, and we're keeping it.
All right, you heard the boss? We have 45 minutes left.
This scene is one of the most crucial scenes in the movie. This minutes before they go live. Everything is set up. They have the live camera on site. They had the material coming in that's been shot with the 60mm camera. And it also shows us this scene, the whole complexity of the apparatus, like how the material first had to be developed, then it had to be telecined to be sent out on air.
That's our opener.
You have this team of people who were basically scrambling just to get everything ready against this ticking clock.
Talk me through.
Yeah, so we have a jam on cam 1. Cam 2 has a live shot of the balcony. Tower cam is an aerial view of the entire Olympic Village and can zoom in. And we got 60mm footage on tape machines 3 through 6. And we can now hear Jennings live on the air. We also have an overview of the hostages, plus an interview with one of them, David Berger. It's ready for playback.
Good work.
And it all sort of culminates in this very tense moment where suddenly, as the camera's about to go live,
5 minutes, everyone.
They're faced with the moral questions that sort of catch up with the labor that they've done.
Oh shit, I want a gut punch close-up of that terrorist.
Jeff, can you turn it down a notch? It's not track and field. They threaten to kill people.
And it is such a crucial moment in a way, because now we suddenly realize that these are people that are not trained or experienced on reporting a situation like this. They were actually just a few hours before still reporting on the Olympics, and now suddenly they are confronted with that question, what do we do?
What do I tell the cameras?
What do you mean?
I mean, can we show someone being shot on live television?
And that moment in the film is that sobering moment where these people who were checking the stats on the football games, all of a sudden, this is real. Who are we going to be in that?
We're the only station going live with this, which means everyone will be watching us, including the hostages' families.
This is the first time where the possibility and the ethics clash. And this is, in a nutshell, what the movie is about, is making decisions like that within seconds.
You don't want anybody to see their kid executed on live television. No. So I don't know about the Israelis, but David Berger's folks are in Ohio, so I'm pretty sure they'll watch.
Well, someone should tell them not to watch it, but we have a bigger responsibility here.
Tim always wanted to have all these rooms and sets connected because he wanted to work in a journalistic way. He wanted to follow the characters and follow the narrative. And this is what we did. We built a set there where you could just go from one space into another. This gives you the feel that you are following it and that you are inside this world.
What about the sponsors?
The sponsors are not going to be concerned. All they
Guys,
care
we have
about
2 minutes.
are viewers. Okay.
They had no solution at that time, and they had this time pressure. It was like they had 2 minutes to have an idea how to handle it.
We're following the story wherever it takes us.
The scene is a good example of what every character stands for, and I think especially the 3 of them. In this few seconds, you can see like where they come from and what their agenda is.
Black September, they know the whole world is watching, right? That's why they chose the Olympics. If, I'm saying if, they shoot someone on live television, right, whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?
The whole film takes place in this claustrophobic environment, but for this particular moment, we wanted to make it feel even more claustrophobic So we staged the characters very close to the door and the wall, and then purposefully put our camera in between the wall and the actors, so it felt very tight.
30 seconds to open.
Julian Wagner had access to the original blueprints of the studio and rebuilt that control room based on these plans.
We wanted to create a set in the control room where the actors could play with. We wanted that a button would trigger something. And it was also very important for us to have a video wall that is actually working. Instead of using a big wall with a lot of green screens, we found a way to have all the footage on screen so that the actors could react to what they see. And if they would push a button, that would trigger something else that happens. So it was a real interaction between the actors and the screens. Because this video wall becomes a window to the real world.
We paid close attention to especially the control room, knowing that so many scenes take place there. So we very precisely work with my lighting department as they go on a countdown. The lights in the background turn off, it becomes darker, it gets more tense. We suddenly switch to anamorphic lenses that is like lenses used in thrillers. So it creates that visual tension in the room. And then as they prepare to go live, these TVs have a subtle flicker, and I used creatively throughout the scenes. We increased the flicker frequency with movie lights that were hidden above the TV wall to ramp up the tension, and the flicker gets stronger and stronger, and it really affects your heart rate watching the sequence.
And you could feel it with the music and all this atmosphere in this control room.
Cam went tight on Jim.
We decided to come with the music in a quite tonal, rhythmical atmosphere, and then the music really turned. It loses everything. It loses harmonies, tonality, rhythm, because this is one of these moments in the film where we realize we go deeper and deeper into this horrible day.
Gladys, opening title of 5.
You see how back then graphics were being made. You see somebody had to pin these little letters on a black board.
Title 1 ready for insert?
And now they go on air.
We're on.
Roll 2. Opening title on 5.
This image is widely known. It's the image of the attack. So we wanted to create that impact, showing that image in the film. So the decision was to use a full frame on the archive footage.
Jim, you're on.
Good morning, I'm Jim McKay speaking to you live at this moment from ABC headquarters just outside the Olympic Village in Munich, West Germany.
Cam 2 on preview.
Here in that scene also we see for the first time Jim McKay hosting live into the cameras. And we see here how crucial it was for us that we could actually use the original footage of Jim McKay, because it would have been almost impossible to reenact that with an actor. He has just this unique blend of professionalism and also empathy with the audience.
Terrorists armed with submachine guns, faces blackened, climbed the fence.
Ready, 1.
Went to the headquarters of the Israeli team.
Dissolved 1.
And immediately killed one man, Moshe Weinberg, a coach, 2 shots in the head, 1 in the stomach. They've been holding 14 others hostage since then, and the latest report is that 1 more has been killed.
Take 2.
That's why it's so important to have the archive footage, because Jim McKay actually experienced that day when he was reporting. So all these emotions that he has are in that footage. And by our actors watching the footage on the screen, they kind of can sense the emotions that Jim McKay experienced that day. And I think it ultimately has an effect on their own acting.
The terrorists have demanded the release of some 200 Arab guerrilla prisoners in Israel in exchange for the lives of Israeli athletes.
I actually think the movie wouldn't be the movie if we couldn't have used this footage of Jim McKay. And also we were lucky enough that we had the support of Sean McManus, the son of Jim McKay.
And they had set a deadline of noon, which saying that they were going to kill all of their hostages at that time. That deadline obviously has passed, so nobody knows what is going to happen now.
I think it's the heart of the whole film, I think, this sequence.
You need to understand how sensitive this situation is.
That collaborative energy that was going on with the actors, with the director, with the cinematographer, it's just, you know, it's gold.
These are just local cops doing things they have never done before.
It's riveting to watch these sports broadcasters kind of navigate this almost impossible situation and come out on the other end of it.
We're making broadcast history. More people have seen this and watched Armstrong land on the moon.
It is also, in a way, a tribute to the world of live television from back then.
Now, police are on the roof.
Oh, guys.
That's a TV. Are they seeing what we're seeing?
What are you talking about?
Are the terrorists seeing this?